You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need.
Hey guys, welcome in to the Sportscast brought to you by the Outspoken Network. Welcome in, gentlemen.
Hello.
Howdy.
All right, guys, we ain't got a whole lot to talk about, but we're going to get into a couple things here. First of all, we got Jerry Jones' comments. We're going to get a little bit into the NFL coaching decisions and hires, and if anybody's really watching basketball this season. All right. Where should we start? We should start with Jerry Jones because this is going to be fun. As we all know, we've heard the comments of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones says the Cowboys are going all in. I don't know what that means. I figured that's what he would be doing already, but I kind of gave my opinion on it on a little bit of 8-minute video clip and put it out yesterday. So I'm going to turn the time over to Craig and let me know what a Cowboy fan thinks of that comment from Jerry Jones.
Well, I mean, I think he realizes he's quickly out of time. He realizes he only has a couple years left of running this thing before he turns it over to Steven. His whole goal was to win a title without Jimmy. He wasn't going to put Jimmy in the Ring of Honor until he won one without him, but he clearly ran that out of time and finally took enough heat that he finally puts Jimmy in the Ring of Honor. And I can see, I mean, he said this in the past and it's really meant nothing, but I can see him absolutely foregoing the future years of the Cowboys and not caring what kind of salary cap situation he puts Steven in to try to win one. But Jerry Jones is a salesman, and he wants his team to be in the forefront of the news the whole time. That's why they're the biggest, richest, most lucrative franchise in all of sports, and except for maybe an English Premier Soccer team, on the other side of the pond over there, they're the biggest and richest franchise in the deal. He says he'll never sell them. I believe in that, but at the end of the day, Jones is a salesman, and he's trying to get his team to always be talked about. He's always been good at that. He's always been good at keeping, no matter if they're good, no matter if they're bad. When they're eliminated, they're talked about. When they're alive, they're talked about. Their offseason is more talked about than anybody. Their quarterback is more talked about and under scrutinized than anybody. Their whole team is decision-making coaches. It's all made bigger because it has a star on the helmet. And that's it.
Jeff, what do you think about Jerry Jones' comments?
I think that it's been known for a while that the time is up, for him. I think that it's, are they closer next year than they were this year? Are they more prepared this next season versus how they were, this season that just happened? I mean, we can talk about some of the other stuff later because I think we'll probably be talking about some of these coaches situations that are changing. But yeah, I mean, that's something I've had a conversation with my own dad about when it comes to Jerry Jones and how he would love to see him win before he dies. And I don't know if he decides to put the organization in a risk further down the line, it for a ring, I could see him doing that. I could definitely see that happening, and then kind of worry about it later, I guess, just to kind of prove that he can do it without Jimmy Johnson, without a team that didn't really have to really worry about salary cap. That's kind of the running joke there. I don't think they really had a salary cap back then, so they were kind of just wheeling and dealing with that one. Now, since then, obviously that hasn't been the case. So
and they were the reason that the salary cap got put in.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's unless he pulls some crazy maneuver, I don't know. And yeah, I do agree with Craig that they're scrutinized, but it comes with the territory when you have an organization that big and have that much fanfare. It comes with it. Brian knows. Brian was, well, he's not now, but he once was a Laker fan. Comes with the territory with that. Same with this. Comes with the territory. When something happens, it's like everybody wants to blame and point fingers and what needs to happen and what needs to happen, and that fans have the biggest voice of them all. The biggest opinion, I should say. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Jerry Jones, I wouldn't be surprised if he just did something insane. But I would be kind of shocked if he just sat back and said that was the shot.
They've already been tied to almost every free agent out there. I mean, Saquon and Henry, and there was a linebacker from Tampa they're tied to already. It's like every big name is automatically tied to Dallas already since he's made this comment. And it's just, I don't know if that's factual or if that's always a thing, but I mean, it's kind of crazy.
If I'm a Cowboys fan, and I'll tell you, like I said last night, I have a big problem with this. All right? I got a big problem with it because what the hell's Jerry been doing? If you don't go if you got your quarterback, right? Because I think we can all agree, if you don't have a good quarterback, you're not going to have a chance of winning. Pretty much. He believes Dak's the guy. Well, when you got your quarterback, you should be going all in until you figure out that he's not. That's my problem with it. But I do honestly believe, I don't think anything changes. Look, they went out last year and they got Cooks, which was a good move before the season. We were like, oh, they got another wide receiver to add to this offense. They got Gilmore, which turned out to be good for them because he played really well for them. Right. So I don't think anything changes. They made these moves before. They did last season. This is, to me, a hook, line, and sinker sales job like Jerry Jones always does.
They're just normally
always
not.
Does.
Yeah, but they're normally not buyers and free agents. They're buyers on the tier 2 and tier 3 on the back end of free agency. They're not big on your top name, like whoever the top free agents are. They're day one of free agency. You see all the memes, the Cowboys in free agency, and it's just them doing nothing. It's just sitting on the couch, doing nothing. And you got the guy with the stick poking the thing, Cowboys in free agency, do something. It's always at the back end of free agency, the guys that are left over because they never have money. And right now they don't have money until they switch all these deals and get the extension done with Dak and everything like that, because right now you're over. Right now you're doing, if the league was to start today, if the league season was to start today, you're not doing anything in free agency because you're $20 million over the cap. So will they have room? Yes, but how much room? So how can you go in if you only have $15 million, $20 million. You can't go and sign Saquon. You can't go and sign Henry. You can't go and sign the top wide receiver. You can't go and sign the top linebacker. You can make some trades if you want, I guess, but are you going to sacrifice your first round draft pick for it? I mean,
they've never. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. They've never done that. They've never really.
Never.
It's kind of been like a Moneyball situation, I think, for a
Yes.
long time, where they just grab
the
dudes,
bargain guy,
right, dudes that are kind of on their last like hurrah,
trying to catch lightning in a bottle.
Exactly. And that's strange to me. It is kind of weird to me that they haven't really done that. And as a fan, I probably would be a little like, why? Maybe I can understand not like going crazy, but I mean, one a year,
yeah,
maybe two every now and then. Like, I don't understand how you don't try that. I know that it's money a thing, but just try that.
Especially when you got an owner like Jerry Jones, who goes on 105.3 Fan every year and says, "Man, you would be flabbergasted by the amount of money I'd spend to win the Super Bowl." But he never does it.
If there was a check that I could write, I would write all the zeros.
That's the problem. Jerry has done this time and time again. He says something and he doesn't live up by it, and it's just a hook, line, and sinker.
So that will be the difference if he does that this year. If he goes in on day one and goes and gets somebody at the top tier, now he backed him up what he said. But if he doesn't, if he still goes bargain basement shopping like he has for a year, then it's a sales job. I mean, that's it.
It's a total sales job. They talk on 105.3 The Fan that this isn't Jerry's. Jerry's not making the decisions. It's Steven's running it.
Steven's running the money side of it.
Maybe that's where Jerry's going, all right, I'm going to start making these decisions
and
now
that
because
might be the thing is he might tell Steven, sit down for a year. Dad's taking over.
That could be it. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yes.
And see if they make any splash moves. The biggest question they've got to ask themselves, and I guess you Cowboy fans as well, is Dak your guy? Let's have that discussion.
Okay, so
oh gosh, we've done this one before.
We have done. He's 8 years in, and he's still can't get over that.
I don't know. I mean, he hasn't had a losing season other than the season he broke his
I don't
leg.
care about regular season. You don't get judged off regular season.
Okay.
I mean, look. I can look back at Aaron Rodgers is known for choke artist. Lost 3 NFC Championship games.
Yet he was. Did you ever try to kick him out of town?
Actually, I wanted him gone. I wanted him gone the year before. Yes, the year before when he won the MVP.
But it wasn't every season.
Trade him. Well, no. Well, first of all,
it wasn't every single season.
There's a big gap between Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott. Big time gap. So you can't even compare the two.
But how? How much success
one's a
did
first
Aaron
ballot
Rodgers
Hall
have?
of Famer, and the other one won't even sniff the Hall of Fame. That's how.
Numbers wise, he will. He had won 1 Super Bowl. He won 1. How many playoff wins did he have? He didn't go into the NFC Championship every year. He didn't go win 1,000 playoff games. He was a regular season star.
Amazing.
Just like Dak Prescott. He won
Dak
MVPs
Dak
just like
hasn't made the
Prescott
NFC.
could win.
You cannot argue with me that Aaron Rodgers and Dak are on the same plane. That's delusional.
Put the numbers side by side. Put the numbers side by side.
Jeff, help me out here. Aaron Rodgers is way far better than Dak Prescott.
Well, the thing
he's
is,
known as a choke artist in the NFC Championship game, and Dak hasn't even made one. It's not an argument.
Okay. So I will say that.
Laughable.
As much as everybody wants to sit here and say, okay, Aaron Rodgers, he chokes in the playoffs. He has got them to an NFC Championship game. I will admit that.
Multiple.
Not just one, not just two, So that is something I will admit. He has won a championship. That's good. Do you have confidence that Dak will do that?
No.
I'm asking Craig.
I think this year was his. I think this year was his best shot. This year, the path was all created.
Right.
You had the easiest. You had the 8th seed at home. You were going to have Detroit at home, who didn't have a lot of playoff experience. You had just beat a couple weeks ago. It was going to be a big game. You had the clear path. The Eagles were falling apart. The Buccaneers were terrible. You had one team that was going to be in your way, and that was San Francisco, period. And you blew it this year. But every
Didn't
other
show
year hasn't been, 100%. 100% you didn't show up. And Prescott looked horrible the first half. And was it because the Packers ran a different defense and he didn't have a whole lot of room to throw, or he was trying to force CeeDee Lamb the ball? Who knows? If you look at the end numbers looked like he had a good game. But if you watch the game, clearly he didn't. But 90% of the other time, I mean, the defense let up 40. So, it doesn't really matter what game Prescott had. He could have came out and had his best game. They still weren't going to beat the Packers if you let up 50. But the entire team didn't show up, and this was the year that you could see the path. Every other year, the NFC was kind of a gauntlet. There was multiple teams, but this year it was wide open, and you blew it. So yeah, this year there's an argument, 100%.
But do you think that was it? Do you think Dak will win championship? Do you think Dak will win you?
I think so.
Will get you to an NFC championship game?
But I think he also needs things around him to do that.
He needs a lot more help than most.
Yeah, but everybody needs help. I mean, except if you're named Patrick Mahomes and you have one-star wide receivers and you're still in the Super Bowl, okay, but not anybody else is doing that, okay? And we didn't think Patrick Mahomes was going to do it. We had to go and make apology tours because we thought he was going to have the biggest
I didn't say not
of everyone.
I'm not saying no. Obviously, quarterbacks need help, but I'm saying Dak needs a lot of help compared to.
I don't think so, because
Josh,
you're really saying Brandon Cooks. Are you saying Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb are better than any combination that Burrow has or that Josh Allen has, or no, they're not. I mean, CeeDee's good, but he can be taken out of a football game by a defense that couldn't stop a nosebleed, and they took him out of the football game. So how good is he really? Is he the number one wide receiver in all of football? Clearly not, in my opinion.
Top five.
The Green Bay Packers could take
Top
him
five.
out of the thing. And Brandon Cooks was a no-show for, the first 8 games of the season? The first 8 games of the season, I think he had 3 catches. So let's see how much help he really had. His number one wide receiver was the tight end. I mean,
CeeDee Lamb's your number one. Let's not be too dramatic. He had 1,700 pass receiving yards. He had a good year.
Yeah.
He had one. He had one off game. He had a really good season.
Yeah, but okay. So you had one wide receiver. How many wide receivers does go put Dak Prescott in San Francisco with everything that kid's got. Everybody that's been over there.
Well, anybody can succeed. I can succeed
unless my name is Trey Lance.
But
that's what I'm saying. You're sitting here saying Brock Purdy is the second coming of Jesus.
I'm not saying that. I never said that.
He's around.
Well,
that's what everybody's saying. That's what you read. You read that he's got more wins already in his illustrious playoff career than Dak Prescott and the guy in Baltimore put together. Well, because he's got an all-star track team around him.
One thing about Purdy though is
putting around him.
He was the last pick. I think that's kind of cool.
No, I get that, but everybody's anointing him as Tom Brady.
I'm not sitting here telling you Dak's a bad quarterback. He was phenomenal this season, but we see it time and time again when he plays tough teams. They got ran out of the building in Buffalo. They got ran out of the building the 49ers. And they didn't show up in the playoffs.
They ran out of the building in the 49ers.
We see that.
I don't know about.
We see that every year with him. That's the problem. If you're asking me if Dak Prescott is a good quarterback, the answer is yes. If you're asking me, is he the guy that's going to take you to the Super Bowl? The answer is no.
Josh Allen.
I'm off the Dak Prescott train. I'm officially off of it.
Yeah. But yet we're riding Josh Allen like he's Seabiscuit and he's done nothing.
Yeah, I've kind of fallen off the Josh Allen thing.
I've fallen off the Josh Allen train too, but they won a playoff game this year.
Yeah.
They consistently win in the playoffs.
Did they go to NFC or an AFC championship?
No, they lost to Patrick Mahomes. He can't get Patrick Mahomes.
I thought
Patrick
they-
Mahomes
It's like
is
running.
I don't
into
know why
Michael
I thought they
Jordan,
ran.
yeah.
I don't know
He
why
needs
I
to come
thought.
to NFC, and he'll have a way better track record because
I always wondered that they.
every year is a
I thought they saw each other one time in the same. No, maybe I'm wrong.
the Bengals and
Maybe I'm wrong. I thought they
that
were
was
in
to
a.
get. I think that was to get to the AFC Championship game.
Oh,
But anyways, all right. I wish Ryan Sims was on here because Ryan, even though he's a diehard Cowboy, knows there's no comparing Dak and freaking Aaron Rodgers. That's
I find a
insane.
hard comparison because Dak has just. He's hot and cold, and I think that's what's weird about it. Even in a season that's good, right? Let's say you say a season that's good, he still has these games where it's like 2 picks, 3 picks, and you're like, what? And then you look at the team that he played, and you're like, what happened there? I don't understand. It's the same thing with the Packer game. What happened there? I don't know. It's just strange. I don't. It's the weirdest.
When you get behind by 21, and they know you're not going to run, it's a whole lot easier to defend.
Well, that pick 6 ended it. It was just what throw was that?
I'll tell you what happened there. He was trying to force it to his prima donna wide receiver. CD's in the huddle barking that you need to give me the ball, he's on the sideline over there barking with McCarthy, give me the damn ball. Well, okay, we'll give you the ball. And he forced it into a place where he had no business throwing it to try to shut a wide receiver up. And that's my problem with Lamb is okay, he had 1,700 yards, but I went into the coach's office and I sat down and had a deal and told him that I needed the ball more. But stop.
But I mean, that some of that. I don't know. I'd look at that and go, Dak needs to just be the leader. I mean, he's the captain.
That's what I'm saying,
he needs to be the leader, and he needs to just say, you know what, I'm going to do what is best for the team right now.
And he should have went over there and rode Michael Gallup because Gallup finally showed up that game and had a great game. He should have thrown him the ball more, but he tries to throw it into CeeDee Lamb and it gets picked off. And you're absolutely right. When that happened, it ended the game because you could have went down and got points there and got points to start the second half and been right back in the football game. And throwing the pick 6 ended it. There's no way at 27-0 that you were. I mean, you went back and got 7 points and made it 27-7 before the half, but still, the game was theoretically over at that point in time when you threw the pick.
The momentum had shifted at that point. That was
100%. The air came out of the AT&T Stadium the second that happened. I guarantee there were people that left at halftime.
So when will you think? When do you think it will happen where you go, okay, this is as good as Dak's going to be? Will it be this next season? Maybe the same results? Will it be the season after? When do you think that would be?
He has to have another season like he had this season, numbers-wise. He has to have another MVP-type season, and he has to win a playoff game. And he has to win a couple playoff games, or else maybe it's time to move on. But the problem is, you're between the rock and the hard place. You either have to move on right now and just cut him, or you can't even cut him. You'd have to trade him, and you'd only have about, 4 days is what they're going to have to trade him because his salary of $59 million is guaranteed about 5 or 6 days after the league year starts. If he's on the roster, then he gets the $59 million. So you either have to restructure the deal and give him the extension.
Right.
Which, if you give him the extension, he's untradeable because the dead cap hit would be astronomical.
Through the roof.
And you could lower the cap hit and give yourself more room that way, or you got to trade him. And what are you going to get for him? You're not going to get a first-round pick for him. You're probably going to get a second and a fifth is all you're probably going to get for him. So is that worth?
I think you at least get one first.
You would be a low first, I would think.
Yeah.
You're not talking about number one. Like
you're not talking about Chicago. I mean, but what I'm saying is right now for Justin Fields, they're talking about a second and a sixth.
And he's trash.
Get, but
he's trash.
Trash. But what I'm saying is I don't know if the quarterback market, trading the quarterbacks, is just going to get you the haul that you would need from Prescott to justify trading him. And okay, say you trade him. Say you trade him and say you get a 1, but say it's just above what you pick. Say you're going to pick at 22 and you get 15. Who's going to be there at 15 to replace him? Is Trey Lance the answer? The answer is no.
No.
Let me help you out. Okay. So if you're going to move on, you better have an answer. And the answer's not at 15. The answer's not. So the answer is you're going to have to go with him. You've put yourself behind the 8 ball. There's nobody you're not going to get Josh Allen. You're not going to get
You blow it up.
anybody. That's the option.
Well, they won't rebuild. They will never rebuild. That's
Well,
that's
I know.
Not with Jerry. Not
okay.
with Jerry.
That's
No,
the
not
Jerry's
until
problem.
Steven takes over.
The thing about rebuild when it comes to a team like that, I think it wouldn't be considered what you would normally see, like a low market team rebuild. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be like blow everything up, sell everything, get it all out of here, and we're going to just literally draft pick for the next 5 years.
The year they had the opportunity to do that was the year that Prescott broke his ankle and they went 2-15 or 3 and whatever it was. That was the opportunity to do this when they had the high draft pick, and I think they used that on. I don't even remember what they used that on. It wasn't a star.
I don't think they'll ever do that. I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they'll do it.
Not with
Jones, insane.
Not with Jones in the driver's seat, especially now.
No.
At the end of his run as GM, they'll never.
Which
do that.
Jones?
Jerry. They'll never.
Jerry. Oh, Jerry. No, but I could see his son doing it.
Yeah, with Steven, yes, maybe, but I mean, I don't know.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, you're really in a rock and a hard place now because you don't have a running back.
No.
You have 0 running back right now. They're not going to re-sign.
Pollard was absolute letdown.
They're not going to re-sign him. They'll not re-sign him. They'll have to either draft one. They'll have to draft a running back or get somebody in free agency, and the free agency will cost way too much money. Although
the way to smartly do it. And it's hard to do. I'm not saying every team can just go do it. When you got your guy as a quarterback and he's a rookie on the rookie deal, then you go all in, spend all the money. But once you sign him to that $60 million contract, it's hard to go all in and get him the guys he needs.
And Dallas could not do that. But Dallas could not do that because they were still paying Tony Romo during the years that Dak was on that rookie deal. So that money was allocated. They couldn't go and take advantage of Dak. The year that he was a rookie and he won 13 or 14 games, they couldn't go spend that money because it was still paying Romo. That's the problem. Every other team has that extra money, and Dallas didn't have that.
Yeah. Green Bay, finally, this season, we're finally done paying Aaron Rodgers. So that'll help us out.
You hit on every one of those guys that you drafted.
Oh,
every single one of them.
The draft was fucking amazing. Sorry for my language, but it's damn good.
Yeah,
Jordan
every
Love,
one of those guys.
Well, this was a family friendly podcast. Thanks, Brian.
You're there right out the window.
I know. I need to have a beat button.
Drop,
there you go.
Yeah, drop button.
I wish they had like a filter where you just did it.
Button.
That'd be great. All right. Well, let's get a little bit of the coaching hires. Now, one thing real quick. This is into the coaching hires, but Kingsbury said, hey, Raiders, I'm going to be your coach. He's going to be the offensive coordinator. And then today it broke that he backed out of that job. That's kind of weird. And they say he's the front runner for the offensive coordinator for the Commanders. So that's interesting to have.
Something tells me he went in to have meetings with the front office, and he wanted to go a certain way at quarterback, and they were like, no, we're not doing that. And he was like, okay, well, I can't work here then. And I don't know if that was we're keeping Jimmy G, or if that was we're getting Justin Fields, or I don't know what they told him, but from the way I read the tea leaves is he went to the thing expecting they were going to go a different direction, and they told him which direction they were planning on going, and he was like, see you later. I'll go over here with this team that's got the number 2 pick, and we'll go get my quarterback that I really want.
Yeah.
And
He's like, hey, I already worked with a running quarterback that's not going to work for me. I'm going to bounce.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get maybe the guy from LSU or something like that.
I hear North Carolina guy
or whatever. You know, he's gonna go get somebody that he can work with or wants to work with, and the Raiders weren't going to do that. So he was like, "All right, glad we had this discussion now before it got too late. I'm gonna go over here and get this job."
You got the Atlanta Falcons take Raheem Morris after it kind of seemed like Bill Belichick was the guy. But we all know Bill wants too much control. And I don't think any team is going to give that to him. I think he might sit out a year and see what happens, but I don't know if he coaches again just because of how much control he wants.
And the story of him saying that he stopped talking to his quarterback in week 12 and was just like, we're not talking to that guy. Like, you just can't do that. No, I mean,
that's absolutely insane.
I just didn't talk to that guy the last 6 weeks of the season. We just didn't have
the most important guy on the team.
I just didn't talk.
Cold shoulder, buddy.
Yeah, I don't.
Cold shoulder.
I just when you hear that, you there's not an organization out there that's like, that's my guy. I want him to ignore my quarterback for the next 12 weeks. No, we're not doing it. So
I'm shocked that he has no place right now, and it's not that. It's because, he's not what you guys were talking about. Of course he is, but he wants control. He wants all this stuff. But I'm surprised there's not a team that's just not desperate enough to go, we want
at
that
least
name.
As a special assistant or something, part of the organization in some fashion.
That's shocking to me.
Yeah.
I'm also shocked.
The shocking one is Vrabel. That's the shocking one to me. How much success he had in Tennessee, and he just doesn't get even an offer.
Right. And they were talking about how he's he wants things a certain way coming from the Belichick tree, right? He wants things a certain way that they're also going, I'm not sure about this guy. I would love him to be my defensive coordinator any day of the week, but
he's the only one under that tree that had success, by the way.
Yeah. Baltimore, this one stung. Zach Orr. Packers offered Zach Orr, their linebacker coach, to be the defensive coordinator for Green Bay, and he said, I'm going to pass because he knew he was becoming the defensive coordinator for Baltimore as their defensive coordinator took over Seattle's job. So, they had the number one defense. They had the number one, not number one defense. They had the number one defense. They might have the number one defense. But they had the number one defensive cornerback. They gave it the less passing yards this season. I would have taken Zach Orr. Hell yeah, come on over, buddy. But he decided to stay there because he got promoted.
Talk about a staff that's been depleted. Somebody else from the Ravens got signed again today to go to Miami. I mean, that staff has just been picked clean.
They've got to start all over there.
Yeah,
as that defense is saying. So you've got the Panthers hired Dave Canales. He'll be fired after the season if history proves right that the owner of the
fired by week 9
Panthers doesn't hold on to coaches. The Bears hire nobodies as who's Shane Waldron? Anybody? Offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. Eric Washington's their defensive coordinator. They keep their head coach. I don't know why. The Bears make these decisions. I'm like, ugh, terrible. Oh, let's see. Anybody else? Ken Dorsey's the Cleveland Browns offensive coordinator. Packers hire Jeff Hafley, the Boston College head coach, which was interesting to me because I wasn't even on the radar. And then
there were some head turners where it was like, who's that?
Well, he's coached in the NFL before. He went to Boston College, and he actually was a defensive coordinator for Ohio State in 2019. And then he was the head coach for Boston College for 4 seasons and led them to 3 bowl game appearances. So I don't know. We'll just have to kind of one of those wait and see.
Yeah.
My bucket list was Rabel. I was just hoping, but Vegas' head coach is Antonio Pierce, which is the interesting one where that the players were like, if you don't hire this guy and bring him back, you might as well trade me. So they listened to him. So he'll be
That's good.
yeah.
I think we
The
talked about that one. But...
The biggest accusation head coaching wise is Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers, and we talked about that a little bit with Craig.
He brings Jesse Minter, the defensive, who's had the number one defense in college for the last 3 years, with him. So it will be interesting to see if that defense translates to the NFL and he can run that style.
This is his second stint.
Yes,
Harbaugh.
He was the 49ers. Right?
He was the 49ers coach. He went to the Super Bowl. He went to 3 NFC championship. Yeah, he took Colin Kaepernick to 2 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl. But the problem with Harbaugh is he only has a short stint because he's the college guy who yells at the players, and that only lasts for a very short time before they're like, I make a bunch of money and I don't have to listen to you. We're not doing that. So thanks for playing. So normally, like he did real well. He had very good results, but the players hated him. Like the whole team hated him. They were like, we got to get rid of the guy because everybody on the team hates him. So the 49ers cut ties with him after he was, I guarantee his record was, I don't know, plus a bunch because he went to 3 NFC championship games.
I find it interesting that his brother has been in so much longer than he has.
Probably the second outside of the guy at Pittsburgh. I think he's the second tenured coach.
Yeah,
who's been with the team the longest.
He's got to find a way to tune in his yelling at players, what I mean? Like,
the intensity. He's got to turn down the intensity, but still get the same message across.
He's got to bring that winning culture. That's what's missing with the Chargers. They're a team that's always talented.
My question is, does he stick with the quarterback or does he go get his own? That's my question.
He sticks with you got to stick with Justin Herbert, bro.
He would stick with Herbert, but the other thing too is, he had success in the NFL with the 49ers. Did he have immediate success in college? I know he just did.
Immediate success. If you look at a regular season standpoint, he would always lose to Ohio State. He had one loss every year, and it was Ohio State for the first 5 years he was there. And then all of a sudden it was, I could beat Ohio State, but I couldn't win a playoff game. And then finally, this year he put it all together.
He beat Ohio State, won the national championship.
Okay.
And that didn't look good for about 25 or 45 minutes of the Alabama game. So,
it's just interesting. I'm just curious. I'm wondering.
No, he had
him coming
never
back.
Had, like, brain scratching losses, like none of that.
Right.
But
I'm just curious. Him coming back into the NFL. It's a different NFL than it was back then.
Oh, absolutely.
The teams in that division are different than they were before.
Yeah, you pick the team, you pick the division with a guy who doesn't lose. So that's a weird deal.
Well, and it's just in terms of coaching, it's like full of just like highly touted coaching. So it's just like everybody's just looking to get to everybody, and you have offensive minds that are about to just go at it, which is going to be interesting. I'm curious. To me, I don't know, because of I guess what happened in the San Francisco, and even the kind of weirdness that happened towards the end. I know they won the national championship, but there was some weird stuff going on during the season, obviously. And then him just. Right. Him just leaving. And then, there's a kind of a weird thing with that. I wonder if this dude is going to be kind of a flaky.
Clearly left
coach.
to avoid sanctions, clearly left punishment.
He pulled a Pete Carroll.
Yeah, 100%. But I don't think.
Floor he got.
I don't think, like, Pete Carroll left and the accusations were against the school, and the school had to pay penalties. I don't think Michigan has to face any penalties. I think they would be against Harbaugh. Would be
Yeah,
the only.
right.
So I don't think Michigan will face any penalties like the guy that took over. You know, Sharon Moore is not going to face penalties for what Harbaugh did. So I mean, I could be wrong, but I haven't heard anything of Michigan still going to be, you know, under penalty for that. Ever since Harbaugh left, that just kind of went away.
There's a weird and interesting interview actually with Deion Sanders that I saw. I want to say like I don't know. It was him and it must have been Chad Ocho or something. Anyway, they were talking about
I think it was
he coach. They were asking if he would coach. You know, why didn't he coach in the NFL? He should be coaching the NFL, and he's like,
yeah,
I'm not
it
going to
was
do that. I can't remember who he was talking to though.
the tight end used to play tight end for the Broncos. That was with Skip Shannon Sharp.
Oh, okay, Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just said, he goes, I go in there. Let's say I go like coach in the NFL. I go in there. I'm yelling at guys that are making more than me.
Yeah. Which
and I'm telling them to do what I want them to do.
Yeah, and that's the Harbaugh deal is
Right.
I don't think it works. I think it works for a short amount of time.
Right.
Which hell, now in college you're yelling at guys that make more than you. Let's be honest.
That's
I mean,
a big difference now. Yeah.
So he said he could never wrap his head around that.
No, yeah, they're younger kids. They're more apt to listen. They're more
Right.
They're more moldable. Like the NFL guys are just like, dude, no, we're not doing this. And that was the problem he had in San Francisco. He had success numbers wise, he had success win wise, but the team couldn't stand playing for him because of his deal. As he changes style in San Diego, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh hires Arthur Smith as offensive coordinator, which is interesting. I think a lot of head coaches that don't do very good that go to offense, coordinator jobs, I think a lot of them, you go, why do they hire this guy? This guy sucked. Well, sometimes guys are just better coordinators, and they can't handle they can't handle everything else that comes with being a head coach.
Vic Fangio's one.
Now we were just talking about the other day.
Yeah.
He did not like being a coach.
No.
So I'm going to. At first, I kind of laughed at this, and I'm like, well, no one's winning with Ritter as their quarterback, so we've got to look back and go, okay. So we'll see what that works out in Pittsburgh. Speaking of Vic Fangio, the Eagles made one really great hire in Vic Fangio as defensive coordinator, and then
by
they
default,
hired Kellen Moore, which has question marks. Kellen Moore was supposed to be the next whiz kid in Dallas. It never worked out. He went somewhere else. The Chargers, they had a terrible season, and now he's with the Eagles. I guess he's trying to redeem himself to get back to that head coaching type of coordinator. He seems to throw the ball a lot, which doesn't work out for Jalen Hurts. But Vic Fangio is a great hire. That defense is going to be good. Dak Prescott struggles against Vic Fangio's defenses when he's played them.
Well, I mean, that's just by default.
Great hire.
Which is odd because everybody was kind of scratching their heads when he was leaving the Dolphins. That was announced and whatever. It was a mutual agreement. And then all of a sudden you had a lot of like Bronco fans kind of scratching their head like, he was one of the top, defensive coordinators that they were looking at and they interviewed. But then again, it within the same breath, it was like, oh no, he misses his family in Philadelphia. I was like, oh, well then he's going to Philly. So all right, whatever. So I mean, it's like he went there based off of, I guess his family is close,
and he gets
there.
To play Dallas twice a year and take shots at them. So
right. But it was interesting. It was, I mean, yes, I think they both mutually agreed, but I think it was just by default.
Yeah.
I think it just.
The Commanders hired Dan Quinn after Seattle job didn't go in there, and
that's interesting.
It's an interesting hire, and here's what's really interesting about it. To me, if you're about to draft your future quarterback in the number 2 spot, why would you bring in a defensive-minded coach? To me, you want an offensive-minded coach that's going to help bring this guy along, not the other way around. unless you get a really strong offensive coordinator. And I'm sorry, Cliff Kingsbury,
or
you
a
are not
great,
him.
or a great quarterback coach,
Or a great quarterback coach. It's just really difficult, in my opinion, to do.
Yeah.
We've seen the Washington Commanders. If I'm a Commanders fan, I want an offensive-minded coach because Ron Rivera was a defensive-minded coach, and it didn't really go anywhere. So give me an offensive-minded coach. I'm not saying Dan Quinn's not a good coach. Apparently, if you ask Micah Parsons, he'll lead him into hell if he had to. Like, he'll follow him into hell or whatever. But
So he's going to
we'll
Washington?
see. Yeah. Well,
Dan they're already recruiting him.
No, yeah, they're already like, come on, buddy, let's go. But those are your coaching hires. A lot of questions, and we won't know until it pans out. But next season, but interesting moves. You got.
Is anyone surprised by the Dan Quinn thing? I know I was kind of like,
I'm not.
Really, Washington?
I figured he was gone because
he go to a rival team.
Jerry money whipped him to stay last season, and I think he really wants to be a head coach. So I think he was kind of like, okay, 3 seasons, 12-5. We didn't go anywhere in the playoffs. Let me go make my mark.
I was shocked that he didn't get the Seattle job because of the history he had with Seattle.
Shocked.
But I think the only reason they didn't go with that was the same reason that you were just talking about. They may be changing quarterbacks and they need an offensive-minded head coach and not defense. So I think that may be the reason that
Oh, they hire the defensive coordinator from the Ravens, so they went defensive.
Oh,
that's so
I thought
weird.
I thought McDonald was the guy in Miami.
Oh no, he went over to, and that's why he went over to Seattle, and that's why Orr stayed over and didn't go to Green Bay is because he knew he was going to get promoted to the defense coordinator for the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just read 2 different things on the Ben Johnson deal. Was that one side says Ben Johnson said that the ownership is not a football ownership group; they're more of a basketball ownership group. Like they just don't know a lot about football, and he doesn't think that's going to be a great hire. And then the other side of it said that he didn't interview well. I honestly think that it was more of he just wanted to go and finish what he started in Detroit. But I don't think Quinn was the first choice. Quinn was like all that was left.
Yeah.
They thought they had their guy. They thought they had their guy in Ben Johnson 3 weeks ago. They were just waiting on the Lions to be eliminated. When the Lions got eliminated, they're like, "All right, Ben, you ready?" And he's like, "Oh no, we're gonna stay
that's
here."
amazing.
And that threw Washington out of deal because at that point in time, Quinn was all that was left, really.
Yeah.
Quinn or Vrabel.
Well, the biggest
again,
crazy.
They're both defensive guys.
The biggest head scratcher to me is the Ben Johnson from Detroit, because in coaching you strike while the iron's hot. Next year, if the Lions come out and go 7-10, no one's going, Ben Johnson, come here, buddy. I wanna hire you.
Yeah.
You strike while it's hot, and that's why you see these teams like the Ravens. They just lost whole coach staff except their number one guy in Harbaugh. You strike when the iron's hot. So I was like, really, he's not going to take it. I mean, I wouldn't want to go to
that's why
Washington either, but
Quinn wasn't getting pursued as hot as he was last couple of years.
No, he was not.
Because of the way that defense looked in the playoffs, they're like, I'm not
really
sure about that.
And it can change like that.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore, whiz kid, gonna be the next head coach. Is he gonna be McCarthy's replacement to offensive coordinator, and he can't seem to get out of that role?
Yeah, and he went to San Diego and didn't have any
success with a good quarterback.
QB,
yeah. So
that's his perfect plan. He's coming back.
Coming back.
And he saved it
maybe
for the Eagles.
What's weird to me is he didn't make it 1 year. He made it 1 year in San Diego, and they were like,
San
Diego, but they were like,
but if
see
they
you
don't,
later, buddy.
If they don't get rid of the whole staff, I mean, Harbaugh wasn't keeping those guys. That's
true.
It wasn't.
It's like this.
They got rid of him because of job deal.
It's like this musical chairs of coaching. It's just this crazy like whirlwind of like this person, some of these people that were over here and now we're here, and some of these other. It's like chess, and it's
Oh,
just crazy to
and
me.
poor Baker Mayfield.
And then you have
sorry, go ahead.
oh no, and then some of them are just sitting off, off the side, waiting for something, and it's just like, what is going on?
Poor Baker Mayfield gets another offensive coordinator to
Yeah.
learn a whole new system every
his
single year.
13th in 13 years.
Yeah, insane. Poor guy can't catch a break. Are you guys gonna watch the Pro Bowl game now? I will tell you, it's a lot better since they went to the flag football game because the other one was 2-hand touch in pads. So this one is a little more entertaining to me than the other Pro Bowl. But you guys gonna sit down and watch it?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. All-star games are weird. It all depends on like investment, and when it comes to football, I think it's just at this point
You're like, let's get to the Super Bowl. Let's go.
It's more exciting when it's a mid-season all-star thing. I think I don't know. There's something about that, but this is like right before the Super Bowl. I'm like, the season, the playoffs have been crazy. You're like, I'm ready for the Super Bowl to happen. It's just,
Do you watch the dodgeball and all that other stuff? I was going to, and I forgot to record it, and I didn't watch it. But
no,
yeah,
I've never been intrigued by it. Let's just say that.
I think
like I like the quarterback part of it, throwing this at the moving targets and stuff. But they were catching.
That's kind of interesting.
They were trying to catch 5 punts and hold on to all of them at the same time, and they got
Marvin Mims, I think, was in there.
They got tight ends out there. They got the guy from Detroit out there trying to, because he's got the big frame, trying to catch 100 footballs at one time, and I don't know the point of it. The dodgeball is kind of cool, but until somebody shreds an ACL trying to dodge a deal.
They had some of the Kansas City Chiefs players trying to catch. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I'm always like, I want to catch it, but then I never record it and I miss it. At AFC, the Pro Bowl game to me has gotten better since it's in the flag because they seem to go a little bit harder, but. I
mean, it just seems like I remember, like, even as a kid, it was like the punt, pass, and throw. Is that what it was? Punt, pass, and kick. Okay, that's
where
it.
Andy Reid was 13 years old, looked like he was 35. Y'all seen that picture? Go look it up.
Oh,
he was 13, and he was like 5 feet taller than every other kid in the field. It's like, this is ridiculous. It's not even fair. Not even fair.
Did you ever do that, Brian?
No. No.
Oh no.
No, I wish. No, yeah, he's over here throwing 50-yard bombs down the field, and they can't get it past the 10. I'm like, this is unfair. Let's see your
he lied
certificate, please. All right. Well, I mean, that's all I got for football talk. Has anybody watched the NBA this season? I don't know. I haven't really paid too much attention to it.
Yeah, I mean, Milwaukee fires their coach when they're 300 games above 500 in the 1 seed. They're just like, this isn't working.
And
then they hire a guy, and their other star players like, I want to trade now. How am I supposed to win with Doc Rivers?
What's insane to me? They fire the guy that Giannis handpicked to be their coach, and then he was like, "Nah, this guy's got to go." Like, what? You said, did Dame demand a trade? Was there something I missed?
Yeah, the day after they hired Doc Rivers, Dame's like, I need out of here because how am I supposed to win with the guy who blows 3-1 leads? He's like, I don't want to play for that guy. He's like, I came here to win a ring.
That's crazy.
And clearly, Doc Rivers isn't the answer because he has 3-1 leads and blows them all the time. So I need out of here. Now, I don't know if they're going to do it, but yeah, Lillard comes straight out and says, I want out the day after Doc Rivers, signs an extension. So that's fun.
I think Giannis went in there
and
Milwaukee. Dropped his balls on the table and said, "Get this guy out of here and give me Doc Rivers." I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a head scratching.
Well,
and then the Lakers fire their coach.
Different rumors of that he said something about family and everything like that.
Yeah, he said something about his brother. and can't have that. So
I mean, it was funny because there's a meme of LeBron sitting on the bench and scowling at the guy that was there before, and then there's a meme of him scowling at Ham, and they were like, "Well, he's as good as gone," and 2 days later he's gone. I was like, "Wow." Well, I mean, he's
LeBron
always been.
chases-
It's
yeah.
always been like LeBron makes the decision. Every
Yeah, oh, yeah.
organization he's been is that he's the GM / coach.
And you know what's funny? He never takes the blame for when they're bad.
Nope.
No.
Never.
For any
they're
team
not
that he's
giving
been a
him
part
enough
of,
help.
really.
But when they win, it's all LeBron. But when they lose, well, it's not LeBron's fault.
And that's why
Drives
I've
me insane.
never cared for him. The whole thing of going to Miami and having his own show at the Boys and Girls Club and I'm going to take my talents to South Beach, and then having the whole stage put up, and not one, not two, not three. Why?
And that's why
it's why.
no
Why
longer
are we
Lakers
doing
fan.
all that?
That's why I'm no longer a Laker fan.
It just
And the funny that year that he did that, they lost to the Mavericks.
yeah, and I just
they're abysmal this year too. 26 and 22 right now.
Yeah.
The Mavericks.
They're on and
Mark
off.
Cuban's
It's on and off,
terrible.
and I don't know
And he's
if
on the
that guy.
backside of it. He's literally just trying to hold on to play with his son. It's just that's all there is to it.
Oh, LeBron.
He's trying to hold on to play with his kid, and because nobody's ever done it, and so he's trying to hold on to play basketball, meaningful basketball with his son, and be the first father-son to team up and win a title and or make a title run. And I mean, I just don't know how he's going to do it, because the Lakers aren't going to be in position to draft Ronnie. And
he'll just walk.
Yeah.
They'll just do something and he'll walk. My thing is, I've read somewhere, I don't know what it was. It was I don't know if it was an article or something, but did something come out that people are thinking he'll be undrafted?
That would be the best case scenario, because then he could sign with anybody.
Right.
He's not a world beater he's not the number one.
I mean, honestly,
right.
He's not my concern right now would be if he's healthy enough. He had the cardiac arrest. I mean, is he even healthy enough to even be in the NBA? I mean, he's been cleared to come back, but to me, that would be the end of my basketball career. I mean, I'm not dying on the floor out there.
Biggest surprise so far this year is Oklahoma City Thunder, 34-15, leading the Western Conference. They've had a lot of young talent for years.
That guard they got over there. That guard they got over there is he's taken over the basketball by storm.
Well, aren't we getting close to the All-Star?
Yeah, the All-Star break. I mean, they voted.
I know NHL's is this weekend.
Yeah, the game already happened.
Because I saw on the TV they were doing all the skills stuff with the NHL, night. So I was like, that's got to be basketball soon.
And then baseball season, baby.
10 days.
A lot of people not signed. I don't get why.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this off-season baseball. It's just it's ridiculous to me.
It's weird.
It doesn't make any sense.
There's a lot of good players.
People are just sitting back. They're literally going to be people that are not signed or just sitting out, and you're going to have catchers and pitchers reporting. And I'm like, what is this?
Yep.
I mean, my goodness, just sign. I know, I understand people want to get paid, but man,
you still got
what are you waiting for?
You still got. I mean, you got Blake Snell, who
right?
Did you see what the counter offer?
He wants $300 million or $250 million, and it's like, dude,
the Yankees offered him, I don't know, like six for 190 or 6 for 210 or something like that, and he's like,
right,
how about 9 for 310? And they were like, that's not even in the same zip code. They're like, no, and Bellinger's not signed. And
Jordan Montgomery
still out there floating around. Where's Nathan Eovaldi?
I think Montgomery.
Eovaldi's still with the Rangers.
Yeah, Eovaldi was.
He is. Did he sign?
Well, he wasn't a free agent.
He wasn't free. He got one more year.
I thought he was.
He's got.
One more year.
So, okay. but I think the reason that you haven't seen Montgomery sign is I think he wants to sign with Texas, and they just won't.
Yeah.
cough up the
Yeah.
money. I think
Then he's gonna go. He's
Newsflash,
gonna go
Texas.
somewhere else. Houston. He's still in Texas.
Newsflash. Sign Montgomery, and how about we give El Bombi, the guy who got you to the World Series and helped you win it, you give him his damn $2 million. They're $2 million apart. Pay the guy.
The MVP of the MVP of the damn ALCS, and
you won't cough up a $2 million.
$2 million.
Now they're in arbitration.
We're gonna go to arbitration on your birthday.
Ooh.
You know, yeah.
They're not looking good. Right now for
baseball this offseason has been an absolute what
it's weird
is going on? Why is it slow? It's just so slow.
You paid money,
and I'm like, what? Normally we can
get
as soon as
everything happened at the meetings, and then it just stopped.
Right. Well, Ohtani signed. I'm like, okay, now here's the ball's going to start rolling. Then Yamamoto signed, and I'm like, okay, here's the ball's going to start rolling. And then at that point, everything stopped. Yep. And I'm like, huh? We've literally been handcuffed since Yamamoto signed, and that was in December.
Yeah.
What's going on? Jeez.
Yeah. My thing with the Rangers this offseason, I'm going, you spent money to get there, you won. Now let's spend money to keep it. And I don't know. We'll see.
They're taking the Jerry Jones approach.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of the Rangers talent is going to be back on the team in after the All-Star break. They are trying to just make it through to June, and then their team will get better. But
a lot of team is young, and we've got the Langford, the right fielder in Florida, is going to be brought up this season, I think. At some point.
Were people hurt? Other than we know DeGrom. I'm not
DeGrom and Scherzer.
DeGrom's literally origami on a wet Sunday.
DeGrom and Scherzer both had. Scherzer's out. He had the surgery. And he's out, and now,
that's not surprising.
The shortstop just has
Seager
surgery.
Will miss all spring training.
Yeah, and might play. The first week of the season, might not, might still be on the shelf for opening day. So
they'll ease him. They'll ease him into it.
They'll ease him into it. I'm not too worried. DeGrom is a head scratcher.
You never know.
Flip a coin. Yeah. Scherzer, I think at this point in Scherzer's career, flip a coin. It's just
that's our worry. That's our worry as Ranger fans,
right?
Is that, and we'll see. But that's why I think we need a guy like Montgomery who's been solid. Like he's not injury prone.
If they're not going to give Montgomery money, he's just going to go somewhere else. Maybe he'll go to the Giants.
Yeah, that's. I wish they are head scratching. They just traded. They don't have starting pitching, and they just traded Ross Stripling to the A's for some no name outfielder. So I don't know what we're doing over there.
There's been some Yankee fans who are like, Montgomery's coming here. I'm like, we kind of got rid of the guy, so I don't think he's coming back.
All right, guys. Well, I love how we didn't have too much to talk about, and we're already an hour, 2 minutes in, so that's fantastic. All right, guys. Well, next weekend's the Super Bowl. We leave this with the question of what's in your locker, but you got any plans to Super Bowl? What are you doing? Answer that question too, Jeff. What's in your locker, and what do you got for the Super Bowl?
Oh, work. There's not a whole lot going on. It's snowing, so that's what's going on. And Super
February.
Yeah, it's dumped today, but now I think the sun's gonna come out. It's gonna melt away tomorrow. That's typically how it works here. We get a bunch of snow and then the sun comes out the next day. So yeah, I mean, Super Bowl. I don't know. The Super Bowl is kind of weird because I don't have a dog in the fight. It's not like I care about any of these teams, but I'm hoping it'll be an interesting game. I think it will. I think these two teams match up pretty well in some way. So in terms of, plans for that, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to try to do a stream in the first half or and see, you know, maybe how that goes. That might be interesting. Or maybe the second half. Who knows? No stream. Brian saying no
Well, and the
stream.
only reason I
Okay.
say this
Boo,
is
Brian. That's
because
horrible.
that day is also my wedding anniversary. So
Oh, on Super Bowl Day?
yes, February
Great
11th
planning.
is my wedding anniversary, and the wife's like, let's spend the whole day together watching the commercial. Let's get into it, but together. So there, unless you guys do it, there won't be no Brian on a live stream for the Super Bowl, guys.
Okay, so there won't be an live stream on Super Bowl, but next year maybe we can try it, or at least do the playoff games and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'll tune in. I'll watch it. I hope to not see Mahomes win.
Oh,
I
me too.
kind of getting tired of
I
it.
hate
I'm
that
getting
guy
tired
now.
of it. It's just getting annoying. I don't want to see Taylor Swift anymore.
I saw a.
I don't want to see his stupid brother anymore.
I saw a TikTok.
It's annoying.
I saw a
It's
TikTok
all
the other
annoying.
day where this Patriots fan was like, "Not the Chiefs again. They always winning. I hate those guys." And he goes, "Oh, that's what that's what everyone felt like against us. Now I get it. Now I understand."
It's just
Exactly right. Sorry, Cat.
And again, I understand. This come from a Bronco fan. I'm a disgruntled fan, but I just get it. I'm ready for some new teams in here. I would have loved to have seen the Lions go, somewhere. I would have loved to have seen somebody new from the AFC. Just something, just something different. So yeah, to see the 49ers are a little, they've been they couldn't get over the mark for a few years. So now it's interesting to see them back in. But to see the Chiefs there, it makes me throw up in my mouth. So I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna be like, stop the world that day. I gotta watch this. So that's what's in my locker. What about you, Brian?
All right. Well, as you heard, my wedding anniversary is the 11th, which is Super Bowl Sunday. We can't do anything for it because my mom's out of town, can't watch the kiddos. So I'm watching the Super Bowl regardless. Wife wants to spend it together, getting into the commercials. We always like the commercials. It's the only time we actually really focus on the commercials. If you haven't see the Craig, you need to go, or Jeff, you need to go watch the Paramount Plus commercial. It's amazing. Craig and me have watched it already. It's fantastic. One of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. You gotta watch it. Go look it up, guys, right now. The Paramount Plus commercial with Hey Arn. Just type in Super Bowl commercial, Paramount Plus, and it's the funniest thing you'll ever see. But so that's what we got going on. Got another week of work right around the corner. We've been dealing with all that stress, and other than that, not much at all. It's like I said, it's been beautiful here. It's in the 60s from February. We love it. That's my ballpark weather right there. Is absolutely beautiful. So it looks like we're not going to have that really bad freeze like we usually do in February. So it's awesome.
Looks like summer's gonna be pretty bad though.
120 again, like normal. But yeah, well, I'll give you my Super Bowl predictions next week. But I don't like either team that's in it. So there's that. All right, Craig. What about you, buddy? What's in your locker?
Not much. I'll just enjoy tomorrow, the day off, and going to catch the U.S. Open major in bowling. It's a star-stacked lineup. You got 5 basically Hall of Famers that are top to bottom, and so it should be a bunch of solid matches. And then as for the Super Bowl, it'll just be me. Zach won't be. He doesn't get into it. Sometimes he comes down and catches some of the commercials or whatever. But for the most part, I normally do wings and stuff. But if it's just me, then there's really no need to order all that kind of food and everything like that. So I may go to HEB and grab some stuff or something to that effect. But really, it's a lot different this year because of the work schedule, having to go in at midnight. If the game starts to get out of hand to one side, there's a real good chance I won't stay and watch the end of it. It'll be a little bit different than years past. Normally, of course, I watch it and check everything out, and it's real important. But this year may not be as the same. So other than that, no, just trying to go day by day here, and one day at a time, and see how it goes. That's it.
Well, it's funny. Me and the wife just had Wingstop tonight. I was been craving some wings, and I said, let's get them tonight because next week is not the week. Next weekend is not the weekend to get them because of all the wings that are eaten on Super Bowl Sunday. So
Oh, I've tried doing that. It's a nightmare and a half.
You gotta
It's so bad.
basically order. You gotta basically put the orders in now. It's crazy.
Yeah. You got a days ahead or something like that.
I did that.
I tried doing that one time, and it was halftime. I'm like, I guess I'll get my wings now. I don't know.
it was. I did it one time with Wingstop, and they had made it hours ahead and stuck in our heat lamp, dude. I got the wings in my house, and they were nasty. They were soggy. I said, I'm never ordering wings ahead ever again, and I refused. We went to Wingstop. I ordered it there. I waited my 20 minutes because I got to feed a herd of people here. So we get the big, huge pack of wings, and I wait so that way I know they're fresh. But
you could do your own wings.
Yeah.
See, I could, but
smoker,
get a fryer,
well, that there
or a smoker, yeah.
Here's my problem with that. Well, first of all, I still haven't tested my smoker out and see if it's not broken.
Oh my gosh.
That there's a whole story behind that. I don't do a whole lot of deep frying, and with the wings,
they taste better that way.
Deep frying is probably better than smoked chicken.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hear the skin's kind of weird on smoked chicken on wings, but then you're probing every little bitty chicken wing to make sure it's at a certain temperature. And I'm just like, that to me seems like a lot of work. So I don't know. I do smoke chicken, but
you have a lot of people to feed, so I get that.
Yeah, I do.
It's like a restaurant.
Can I get your order? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I hope you like this episode. It's episode, I wouldn't even talk. It's episode number 131. I didn't throw that, or 34, actually. I didn't throw that in there in the beginning. But we want to thank you guys for taking time out of your lives to listen to the show, whether it be on podcast, or whether you get on YouTube and get to look at our beautiful faces. We thank you for that. So we're looking to throw out more content this year, more than ever. And we hope you have a great rest of your weekend. God bless, and remember,
keep it
outspoken.